This is Mac OS Ken.
A bit of iPhone news, a look at holiday shopping and Apple, and some spirited offerings from Apple TV Plus. It is Friday, the 18th of November, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macosken. This show is also sponsored by SimpliSafe, the right way to protect your home at the biggest discount of the year. The holidays are upon us, a time of giving and receiving. Unless you're a bad guy, in which case it's a time of taking and stealing. This time of year, property crimes like burglaries and package thefts spike all across the country. That is why the folks at SimpliSafe Home Security are offering 50% off their award-winning security system, so you can enjoy advanced security and greater peace of mind this holiday season. You've heard me say for years why I love SimpliSafe. I love the customization. You pick just what you need to keep your home safe, because you know your home better than anyone. You also set it up yourself, which is super simple. Took me less than an hour to get my sensors, keypad, and base station up and running. Not that you're off by yourself. For less than $1 a day, the SimpliSafe team keeps an eye out for issues 24/7, sending emergency services as soon as they are needed. Don't miss your chance for massive savings on a great security system. Get 50% off any new system at simplisafe.com/macosken today. This is their biggest discount of the year. SIMPLI. That's simplisafe.com/macosken. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. So this whole iPhone 14 Pro thing is starting to worry UBS analyst David Vogt. I mean, not worry, but yeah. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note Vogt wrote, wherein he says waits for iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max are getting extreme. I honestly wasn't paying close attention for a while because waits were getting shorter. Then the COVID outbreak hit Foxconn's iPhone City plant in Zhengzhou, China, and workers started fleeing, and Apple warned about extended waits, and now, here we are. Seriously though, I had no idea how short waits had gotten. According to the note Vogt wrote, in the US, wait time for the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max is now 34 days, up from about 7 days last week and 19 days 3 weeks ago, while wait time in China at the high end is now 36 days, 10 days higher than last week. Waits got down to 7 days? Seriously? UBS recently lowered its iPhone unit expectations thanks to the iPhone City lockdown/unrest. Now, though, Vogt thinks the 83 million units to which he had lowered himself might still be too high, even with the extra week in this year's December quarter. All of that said, he is looking for neither the exit nor the parachute. Mr. Vogt maintained a buy rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares remains $180. When there are iPhones to be had, iPhone tends to crush it. Seems to have done so again recently in China and Southeast Asia. That is according to the findings of two firms highlighted by 9to5Mac. The Southeast Asia numbers come by way of counterpoint research. For the region, including Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam, smartphone shipments were down 10% for the third quarter versus the same quarter a year earlier, but premium models grew 29%, and iPhone shipments were up 63%. Shifting to China, we shift to numbers from Strategy Analytics. That firm was looking specifically at Singles' Day sales for the Middle Kingdom. As with the rest of the planet, smartphone sales were down year over year, with 11/11 sales off 35%. While iPhone fared better, it too saw declines year over year, falling 27%. Still came out on top for the day, though, in terms of units moved and revenue. According to the firm, Apple ranked top by volume share, 39%, and revenue share, 68%, at the expense of Chinese brands. Apple can go back to selling 5G-enabled iPhones in Colombia. For several months, according to a piece from the Mac Observer, Apple has been under an injunction that barred it from selling iPhones with 5G capability, including its latest iPhone 14 line. This was all related to ongoing disputes with Ericsson over licensing and patent infringement, according to the report. Quoting TMO, the dispute between Apple and Ericsson is ongoing in several countries. It all boils down to expired licensing agreements and the two companies failing to reach a new contract. In several nations, including the U.S., trials begin soon in an attempt to settle the matter once and for all. Sounds like Pistols at Dawn stuff. No need for that in Colombia right now. The piece says a Colombian appeals court agreed to vacate a preliminary injunction that kept Apple from selling 5G stuff. And now the punchline. Colombia's cellular infrastructure doesn't support 5G. Still, Apple apparently couldn't sell iPhone 12, 13, or 14 there since April, when the injunction was set. Because those phones do support 5G, even if the country from which they were barred does not. Boy, this planet, huh? A bit of us as well regulation may be on the way from India. A piece from Mac Rumors says the country is pursuing new rules that would require USB-C to be the charging port standard for electronic devices such as smartphones, tablets, laptops, etc. If this sounds familiar, it may well. Last month, the European Union passed legislation that will make USB-C the charging port standard for electronic devices such as smartphones, tablets, and speakers. For those devices, USB-C has to be the thing by 2024 if they want to sell in the EU, though computers have a bit longer to get on board. Assuming India doesn't pursue an aggressive timeline, Apple will likely be ready for it. Mac Rumor says Apple's VP of Worldwide Marketing, Greg Joswick, said in a recent event that Apple would have to comply with the EU's new law, indirectly confirming that iPhone will adopt USB-C in the near future. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, BetterHelp Online Therapy. Big emotions don't come with instructions. Sometimes problems or feelings can seem so huge, they sort of stop us in our tracks. Therapy can help us get unstuck. But it's a pain, right? You gotta find somebody, you gotta go somewhere. Not with BetterHelp. It is therapy on your terms. The whole thing's digital, so you're not bound by who's around you. I like how easy BetterHelp makes it to find a therapist and to find a new one if the first one isn't quite right for you. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. Couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. That's betterhelp.com/macOSKen. betterhelp.com/macOSKen. apple.com/macOSKen. Apple has announced its annual Black Friday deals in the States, set to run from the day after Thanksgiving, Friday the 25th of November, through Monday the 28th of November. A piece from Mac Rumors has the Cupertino Company offering the usual round of gift cards with the purchase of qualifying kit. Most of Apple's wares, including iPhones and accessories, will net up to a $50 gift card, according to the report, though big-ticket items like one of the various Mac models available can score a gift card worth up to $250. If you want to find out more, there is currently a link to the holiday shopping event on the front page at apple.com. If you're wanting to put something Apple from Apple under the tree this year, the company has put together a list of what has to be ordered by when to make that happen. Apple Insider says the Cupertino crew has listed order by dates to make sure that they are there by the 24th of December. If you're ordering from Apple, it's too late for an iPhone 14 Pro or iPhone 14 Pro Max. I did mention yesterday, though, that retailers including Target and Best Buy do show some availability. Probably don't want to wait too long on those. Most everything else Apple thinks you might want has an order by date of the 21st of December. That includes the rest of Apple's iPhones, Apple Watch, most Macs, most iPads, HomePod Mini, and Apple TV. There are a few outliers, though. Just like last year, AirTags are ditching early. A single AirTag or a 4-pack engraved needs to be ordered by the 9th of December. AirTags with no engraving can be ordered as late as the 14th of December for on-time arrival. iPad Mini, engraved or not, has to be ordered by the 30th of November. The rest of the iPads and the various AirPods are all over the place. You can find the full list of what has to be ordered by when on Apple's site. The website for iCloud got a new look this week. Apple Insider says iCloud.com is now replete with customizable tiles. According to the site, when people log into iCloud.com, they will see a set of tiles that shows information about their iCloud profile, Apple Mail, Photos, and iCloud Drive. At the bottom, a button lets users add, remove, or rearrange tiles based on other iCloud services. And finally today, that thing that Apple TV Plus has been doing, it's doing it again with Spirited. Spirited is the Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, Octavia Spencer comedy musical retelling of A Christmas Carol. That is streaming now on Apple TV Plus. That's not the thing they're doing. They put up stuff all the time. No, starting, I believe, with the Sidney Poitier documentary, Apple has been making related titles available to watch for a limited time at no additional cost to Apple TV Plus subscribers. The streamer added a few Sidney Poitier films when the documentary Sydney premiered. It added a few Jennifer Lawrence films when her movie Causeway premiered. It added a few workplace comedies when the Apple TV Plus dysfunctional workplace comedy series Mythic Quest started its 3rd season last week. And now it's doing that thing it does again with Spirited. Visiting the page for the movie on Apple TV Plus, subscribers find 5 films available to watch at no additional cost for a limited time, 4 starring Ferrell and 1 starring Reynolds. The 5 films are Old School, Anchorman, Semi-Pro, Kicking and Screaming, and Van Wilder. Personally, I was hoping for Elf and Scrooge, maybe, but, they're free. Well, available to watch at no additional cost for a limited time for Apple TV Plus subscribers. Old School is available through the 17th of December. The rest of the extra films are available through New Year's Eve. Today on the Mac Observer's Daily Observations podcast, Bloomberg ran an opinion piece this week that caused ripples of negativity. TMO managing editor Jeff Butts and I talked that over, plus neat medical news tied to Apple hardware that is already out there. That is all today on the Daily Observations podcast from the Mac Observer, online at macobserver.com or wherever you get podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 50% off your new home security system by visiting simplisafe.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.